Alright guys, welcome back. I am still bringing you the best Reddit stories anyone can find on the internet, and today we have an absolute banger from r/EntitledPeople. So sit tight and get ready. This happened some years ago. I'm in my 30s now, but back then I was like 22. Now, my sister at the time was 18, and she was my mum's golden child. My dad, thankfully, had a good head on his shoulders and always called my sister out on her shit. But my mum's interference always meant she got off easy anyway. This is what happened back then. My parents decided to take a vacation to ski in Aspen or something and let my sister watch the house for them. They told her no parties, but that was a rule she straight up ignored. A day after our parents left, my sister started sending out invites to a party. And she was promising, get this, free alcohol. I didn't see that post just yet, but my sister called me and asked me to go and buy alcohol for her party, because I was over 21 and could therefore legally buy it. She also wanted me to pay for it and said she'd invite me over to the party and introduce me to an easy girl in order to pay me back. So yeah, I told her I wasn't going to be doing that. I'm not going to break the law just to make her happy. She should never have told people her party would have alcohol. She screamed over the phone at me and shouting at me, telling me that I was ruining her life and that she couldn't take back the invites now that they were all over her Facebook. I looked at her post and absolutely face-palmed. I told her that what she did was really, really stupid, and she and her friends were all underage. So, it's illegal. She tried to say it would only be illegal if I narked on them. I said I wouldn't narc, but I also was not going to be buying her booze. Well, she screamed at me some more and then hung up the phone. Well, that night, my sister had the party and someone called the police for underage drinking. After being arrested and confronted by the police later on, my sister threw me under the bus and said that I'd supplied the alcohol she was using. Turns out, she actually broke into Dad's liquor cabinet and thought it would be better to frame me for her crime. Well, police came and arrested me at my apartment the day after the party. They already seemed pretty convinced that I was guilty and didn't really listen to me when I said that I was never even there. But I willingly cooperated with them. At the station, I told them the whole story and got them to look at my sister's Facebook post. Thankfully, there were a few people there who listened to me. But I still had to sit the night out in my cell while my parents were called. My mum and dad flew back home overnight and bailed out both me and my sister. But my mum tried to make my dad leave me in jail because my sister had told them her lie as well. My dad took the time to talk to me and look at my sister's Facebook, and so he believed me. This caused a fight between him and my mum. Now, when they got home, my dad discovered that my sister had broken into his liquor cabinet and spoke to the police on my behalf. My mum, however, still wanted to blame me and make me take the fall because, as she put it, the charges were ruining her baby's future. But my innocence was further proven by the fact that both me and my car were seen on CCTV when I left work and when I arrived at home at my apartment, and they have CCTV in the parking lot. My car did not move from there for the rest of the day or night. In my sister's story to the police, I had driven out and gotten the alcohol for her, but I wasn't seen on CCTV in any liquor stores in the county, and my bank account showed no transactions for buying alcohol. My parents' house also had cameras at the front door, and my car was never seen on the driveway that day. After being confronted by those facts, my sister's story changed to saying I already had the alcohol and I gave it to her at my apartment. And there was like 3 cheap beers in my apartment fridge. and no hard alcohol. My sister finally had to give up on her lies, and my parents were severely disappointed in her. But my mum still tried to convince me to take the fall for my sister. I mean, come on! She came to my apartment and actually demanded that I tell the police that it was all my fault. Yeah, I said I was not going to be doing that. I am not going to be ruining my future for my sister. She refused to leave and went from demanding to begging. She even got on her knees and tried to convince me that she and my dad would make everything okay in the long run if I just took the blame now. I said I'd rather just live my life than have that felony on my record. Well, she threw a huge fit and started throwing things because I refused to do as she wanted. I threatened to call the police and she left my apartment cursing me out like an absolute madwoman. I have never heard so many F-bombs out of her before or since. But she kept them up all the way to her car and followed it up by saying she should have aborted me before driving off. I called my dad right away and told him everything that happened. He was insanely pissed and got in a huge fight with my mum as soon as she got home. She didn't even deny anything she said or did because she deemed it to be for the greater good of their daughter. But my dad told her that she couldn't destroy me to save my sister. Then he threatened to divorce her if she didn't try to make things right. She ended up sobbing and then saying that she'd do whatever he wanted. Now, my dad said that it was couples and family counseling, or it was divorce. My mum signed a prenup before she married him, and really had no choice. In the family counseling, I called her out on how she always believed my sister's lies. My sister tried to say they were not lies, but each one I pointed out from over the years said otherwise. I'd taken the time to write a list of all the ones I could remember from the past decade that had been proven that she lied. And my mum and sister were forced to stay silent as I read them all. They tried to interject repeatedly, but my dad and counselor silenced them. My sister, now proven beyond any reasonable doubt to be a liar and a manipulator, just shut down. Refused to say anything more to the counselor. My mum finally apologized to me. But it was obviously a forced apology because she looked so uncomfortable doing it. I told her that her apology was very fake, and after so many years of favoritism, the damage was already done. My relationship with her never really recovered because she was convinced I was guilty no matter what was said until my sister admitted the truth, and then wanted me to pretend to be guilty anyway to protect her favorite child. But nothing went her way, so she just went back to crying about it. When my sister went to court, my mum pleaded with the judge to go easy on my sister for the charges of underage drinking and giving other underage people alcohol, as well as attempting to frame me for her crime. She also resisted arrest when the police came and shut down the party. She was very drunk when it happened. They kept her in a cell overnight to sober up, and then she told the police I'd been the one to provide the alcohol. My mum's begging, along with the relentless lawyer that my parents hired, got the judge to cut a deal, provided that my sister pleaded guilty, which she did not want to do. But her lawyer highly recommended she take said deal to avoid jail time, because there was no other way of keeping her from getting a felony on her record. My sister's lawyer used the fact that the alcohol had not been bought that day, but rather had already been in the house long before the party happened, to help lessen the charges. My sister's Facebook had also been completely deleted by her as soon as she was able to, in order to hide the post. The judge just wanted the case over with, and so my sister got off with a huge fine that our mum paid most of out of her own pocket, and a couple of years of probation. She was also made to get therapy too by her dad. She's never really showed actual remorse for what she did though, and only had animosity for me, no matter how in the wrong she was. She was eventually diagnosed as a narcissist after my dad made her go to a doctor. After her probation and 4 years of college were over, she decided she was going to leave home for California and never come back once she landed a good job. She currently works in an office in LA, and we've not spoken in years. Dad got her that job, and she's not shown any real appreciation for it. Even my mum has given up on her ever coming home for the holidays, and us being a family again. It tore her up inside for years. But now she's just bitter. She doesn't really blame me anymore, but we only seem to show indifference to each other. Just because my sister cut her off wouldn't make me the new de facto favorite. It just means my mum lost her baby and isn't getting her back. She can't leave my dad because she's too reliant on him despite having her own career. She'd never want to be on her own again. So she's just become a shell of her former self. Things between me and my dad are still great. He's pretty much disowned my sister for what she's done, and has stopped caring if she ever comes back and speaks to him again anyway. He and my mum don't even sleep in the same bedroom anymore. She moved into the guest room some 5 years ago, and has just stayed in there ever since. Their marriage is really only one on paper these days. Well guys, I'm sure you enjoyed that one. You should go and check out this absolute banner next. Banner banger, god damn it. Go check that out, and I'll see you over there.